And here we go. This is our first episode of the Beach Tree House. Very happy to be here with my old friend Anthony Williams of Mindwell. We've known each other for about 15 years. You can find Anthony online at mindwell.co. Welcome, Anthony.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's wonderful. And we're out here on the coast. We had hoped to be outside today, but the wind was a little too harsh on the condenser microphones, so moved everything inside. Tell me, how did Mindwell come to be?
Mindwell. So that came to be by intense rage. So my college years were very traumatic. And that anger prompted a professor a black mother figure on campus, Pearl T. Robinson. It prompted her to call me into her office because she saw this young black man walking across campus with fire coming out of his nose, his horns out, fist balled up, ready to go. So she called me into her office, and long story short, she asked me the question that changed the course of my life. And that question was, have you ever thought about going to Africa? And the question was so profound, I asked her again, what did you just ask me? And she said, have you ever thought about going to Africa? And so I thought about my whole life in that 1 minute, and I realized that's what I needed to do. I needed to get out. I was just so angry. I needed to get out of New England. I need to get out of America. So there's just the idea of that was just so refreshing somehow. And then I started thinking about, well, how do I even get to Africa for real? And so she said, don't worry about it. I'll give you some programs to apply to. And so 10 months later, I was in a rural village in Kenya, Marafa, Kenya, building a school the summer before my senior year at Tufts. And that completely changed the trajectory of my life. And so that was the beginning of what Mindwell is today. I didn't know that, but it gave me one of the chapters, I would say, of my life at that time of my life was a glimpse of potential. And so it let me know, when I was in that village, it let me know what my life could be like if I could do something about this rage. If I could get rid of this rage, I could have what was in front of me in that village. Like one guy speaking 12 languages, he just got back from Russia. 15-year-old kid, he's speaking 5 languages, working on his second book, and just really enlightened beings that were just loving me unconditionally. And I realized in front of these enlightened beings, that's what I want in my life. I want that joy de vivre. And so that started a 10-year sojourn around the world. I came back, went to graduate school, started helping other graduate students out, just on a humble, like, I'm suicidal. I'm like, well, maybe you're not thinking of, I'm working on my dissertation, I'm suicidal. I'm like, well, maybe you're not thinking about it right. Maybe you're not breathing. So all the things that I have been working on those 10 years around the world, I just started just casually sharing with graduate students. And they're the ones that said, you need to be doing this. So I was like, no, I'm going to be professor in social cultural anthropology. And that was the whole goal. And about a year and a half in, there were a couple of things that happened, but a year and a half in, I made a decision like, I'm like, well, if this is a business, then pay me for the advice I'm giving you. So they started paying me. I'm like, oh, I guess this is a business. And I'm going to do this no matter what. I'm going to be taking care of myself. I'm going to be breathing. I'm going to be thinking. I'm going to be moving. I'm going to be applying all of the things that I've learned from these cultures of antiquity around the world. And if I can do that and for myself, and people will pay me to give them this information, I was like, I think, that sounds like a career path to me.
Yeah. So, yeah, it sounds like...
long answer to...
It sounds like a gathering of wisdom